I peel a bit of wallpaper off above the mantel with my thumb. Without all the furniture, the place looks much older than it actually is. I managed to get in by unlocking the front door with one of my credit cards. The deadbolt never worked, and I guess my parents didn't fix it after I left town. Everything kinda smells faintly familiar. Just dustier, and without my mom's burning cinnamon incense that seemed to be a constant feature of my childhood. I rest my forearms against the windowsill and let my eyes loll a bit. Otter! Leo smacks his paws on either side of the window, looking up at me from the outside with a pleased expression on his muzzle. Jesus, man! I blink. Why are you shirtless? Leo pulls back some, crossing his arms over his chest. He rolls his shoulders, a sort of indirect shrug. Was getting hot, especially with all that moving around and grilling. I give him a dubious look. Yeah, you're a hot dog, all right. The red wolf responds with a delighted smile. I harumph, trying to change gears a bit. You're not, like, self-conscious or anything. I mean, it isn't like the height of football season for you anymore. I flick my gaze toward his stomach. Leo's demeanor cools, though he keeps smiling as if he's trying not to let that one set in too much. He points up toward my chin. Do you dye that? What? My goatee? Is that what you call it? Yeah. He lets out a little humored grunt. What? Seems like a lot of work for a little scruff of hair, yeah? I frown, pushing back away from the window. Leo seems to stiffen some. Hey, I'm just kidding. You look, you know, you look very good. Seeing you dancing and all that takes me back. But you are different. He pushes his tongue against the roof of his mouth, Leo's eyes darting from side to side as he tries to find the right words. I haven't seen him like this since we were younger. I wonder if his English has been getting worse without us around. His family really only speaks the native tongue at home, and I imagine it's the same at the shop he works at. Thanks. I'm honestly not sure how to respond to that. What am I doing that's so different? I can't explain it. You're just like you used to be. Just less? I feel a sinking sensation within my chest. Leo suddenly snaps his fingers. Mellowed out. That's it. Listen, Leo, you said you wanted to talk, right? Because if your big point is that I'm not a complete spaz anymore, I'm already aware. Leo furrows his white-ridged brow. You never were a spaz. And I was getting to that. Yes. I spin around and see the familiar salamander standing anxiously behind me. Oh, hi. Hola, scooter guy. Leo leans past me and waves. Hey, got time to talk, Chase? We said we were going to talk to Leo. We already danced with him. I don't want to leave Daxton waiting, but we've already made Leo wait this entire time. So I'm going to say, actually, I wanted to talk to Leo for a bit. I don't know if Chase really wants to. It doesn't really seem like he does. But I'm going to say this. We kind of promised. People breaking promises is like, that's just like, it's awful for friendship. If you can even call what they got a friendship. Okay. Understood. I suppose I'll head off then. If I don't see you again, it was good meeting you, Chase. I feel a swell of guilt build in my chest. Oh, leaving so soon? Yeah, I gotta take Carl home. I've been watching him out back, and he's just been sitting by himself, not talking to anybody. I can't relate. I frown, but nod in understanding. I hear you. It was good meeting you too, Lieutenant Daxton. I manage a smile, and he does as well, fortunately. I'm not gonna say I'm beaming out. I'm just gonna walk away now. Of course. See y'all! The salamander waves at both of us, backstepping his way to the front door. Did we come around then, yeah? Feels wrong to have to be looking up at ya. Like the natural order of the universe is messed up. If you say so, be my guest. Great! Leo quickly pushes himself away from the window, darting off around the house. Here we go. Leo steps into what was my old living room, his eyes on his phone. I raise an eyebrow toward him. Something up? Pops wants me in the shop in Peyton an hour from now, even though it's my day off. What the hell? I guess labor laws don't apply when it's family. Yeah, fuck it. You know me. I chose spending time with you if it meant getting chewed out by the parents any day. He shoves his phone into his pocket, smiling down at me all the while. He does enjoy that height difference, doesn't he? Something in the back of my mind seems to whisper, not as tall as Flynn, though I quickly shove that thought aside. Leo peers around, touching the faded green wood paneling that surrounds the room. I remember the first time I was in here. Back during Halloween of 2000. Your mom invited me over. I didn't speak a bit of English, and didn't have no damn costume, but your parents thought we were friends, so I got ushered in here. Your mom cut up one of those old bed sheets and made me this ghost-looking outfit. Oh, geez, I remember that. I threw a little tantrum because I apparently liked those sheets. Leo crosses his arms, grinning as he stares at a spot in the corner of the room. My Hispanic ass didn't know what the hell you guys were doing to me. I start snickering some. I thought that it was a ritual or something to steal my soul. I don't know. That was right around the time I was learning about the devil sheet. It was just bad juju to me. All of it. He makes a little motion of crossing himself. Leo's a complete atheist nowadays, but he still has that whole cultural Catholicism ingrained in him. Oh my god. I'll need to find some pictures of us from back then sometime. I had the biggest buck teeth, so I wanted to be a rabbit. I was too young to understand the specious implications of that idea. Leo chuckles heartily, kicking an errant piece of wood out of the way. What did you end up being? I forget. I think I was a knight? Or a wizard. That might have been 2001. Oh man, 2001. Everyone around was a soldier or commando that year because of the whole terrorist stuff. And I dressed up as, a pizza! Leo laughs, wagging his finger at me and nodding. A pizza. That was the best costume. I could barely move. You kept falling over. I didn't fall over, Chula. I kept getting pushed over by... Boy. Leo's cheery demeanor sombers some, and he exhales. I remember who kept pushing him over as well. We're quiet for a time, Leo wiping some dust off the bottoms of his feet. I'd, offer you a seat if this place still had furniture. He waves dismissively at the offer before beginning to wring his paws together. It was always really obvious when Leo was tense or nervous growing up. His shoulders would be raised up high and his tail had a slight curl to it. Right now, he looks just like that. Leo? Leo opens his mouth as if to say something, but doesn't. Instead, he just turns, looking back toward that corner. Leo, is everything all right? What happened to you, Chase? The question takes me off guard. I was expecting the worst, but the general nature of it has me confused. What? He turns, looking over his shoulder. Why are you doing this? Did I do something? Serious like, otter. Tell me now, please. I don't understand. You haven't done anything wrong. Besides bust into Leo's place and assault him, of course. I'll keep that to myself for now. I know what you're doing. And you know I know what you're doing. I'm not dumb. I know I'm not. Everything that we've had problems with in the past was cause of miscommunication shit. Nothing I say is as smart as Gina and DJ. Or funny as Carl and Flynn. I gotta translate everything in my head, so it's just slower. Talking to me is hard, yeah? I get that. Just fucking try for me, please. Honest like, too. He looks at me, his chest rising and falling with some quickened pace. I slowly step to the side, resting my back against the wall and sliding down to a sitting position. I sit, crisscrossed, and stare at the gap between my legs. You're not hard to talk with. I am. Jeez, just say it. Without thinking, I do. I had sex with Flynn. And so have you. I hear Leo take a step forward, then stop. He told you? Yeah, to get me mad. We're not on the best of terms right now, Leo. It was after you left your college. I swear on my neck. A silence falls between us. It feels like Leo is practically leering over me, but I can't muster the courage to look up. Have you had others? Yes, but nothing ever felt the same as, you know. I'm not like Flynn. I can't go to that place outside of town and just let loose. You know, I tried that, and I felt so wrong and fucked up. It's not the same. What's the point of doing that shit if it's not with your love, you know? And I'm not talking about the whole cultural, religious merda where you gotta marry and all that. Because I know how Flynn ticks, and I know how I tick. He's completely different, yeah? I hear the floorboards creak beneath his feet, the wolf shifting his weight from foot to foot. I just thought you were like me in that sort of way. For Flynn, this is nothing. This is just another notch on the wall. I cross my arms over my chest tightly, feeling cold sweat on my neck. You show up for the first time in years, and it's like you don't want nothing to do with me. I get it, you know? I'm good at sports stuff and car stuff, and none of you gave a shit about any of that. And that was fine. Just roll your eyes at Leo. I just liked having my friends around. All of them. But especially you. Another pause. You were. You are like family. Hell, you can't just flick a switch and stop being family. Growing up with the shit we dealt with. Leo, you've got a real family. You know what they always ask about? You. Well, you've got Flynn and Carl still. Flynn's... You know how Flynn is. And Carl? It's not doing too hot. I don't know how long he'll last. Long? He'll last? What the hell are you talking about? I don't know, Otter. Just look at him sometime. Really look at him, and his whole... Leo trails off into a long sigh. You all left, and it was never the same. So, I pretend. I remember all the stuff you used to say, even the naggy bits. I imagine you're there with me at work, talking to me while I'm fixing cars. I pretend I'm teaching you about the basics, like changing oil or replacing headlights. I know it's not riveting stuff, but it's all good because you love me and I love you too. Then I drive home, listening to whatever is on the radio, and I imagine you reacting to it. Groaning every time the word truck is mentioned in a country song, or making some snide-ass remark at the political odds. When I get home, I go online, and there's this pulling in my chest. Like a dread, you know? I click on the social media shit and it's you. The real you. And you're different. You're wearing new shirts, hanging with new friends, drinking fancy college beers. It feels like I'm losing you all over again. So I just avoid it. I pretend. I pretend that we're drinking together on the patio as the sun goes down. I pretend that you're watching me play my games. And I pretend at night that my pillow I've got my arms wrapped around is you. Making your little noises you do when I ruffle your head fur or squeeze you. Leo chuckles bittersweetly, the gravity of his words seeming to take hold now that he's actually said them out loud. Jesus. Leo. A week ago you showed up outside my window. The sky was red. You said, "Hey." Leo, what are you talking about? Why were you there, Chase? His tone is strange, almost without inflection. Leo, I don't know what you mean. I wasn't there last week. Next thing I know, he's stepping closer toward me. He stops, then lowers himself to a sitting position against the wall. The wolf's arms stretch around my torso and pull me against his side. Ooh. He just bared his secret. Oh, man. If you hug him, you're giving mixed signals. I mean, we've already been giving him mixed signals, and we didn't hang out with them, then we danced with them, now we're in here talking with them. Maybe we shouldn't have danced with them. Not hugging him back. So damn cold. Guys hug each other, but he's gonna take it as romantic. Don't want him to think we're romantically involved anymore. So do nothing. Something's really wrong with Leo. As different as he says I am, something is truly different with him. I keep my paws in my lap. He puts more weight on me, and I have to prop myself up to keep from falling over. He's so heavy now. I hear him clearing his throat. Things aren't great here, Chula. I was trying to act like they were. But you know now. I just know if you were here, I could protect you and things would be better. Leo, that might not be true. And I don't need protecting. Leo says nothing. The minutes pass. I can hear TJ talking excitedly about something out in the backyard, with Jenna chiming in occasionally. Finally, Leo pulls back. He looks at me as if about to ask a question, but seemingly decides he doesn't want to know the answer. So, this is pretty something, yeah? I rub my paw against my forehead. Not as pretty something as your fake me pillow you sleep with at night. I expect Leo to laugh at that, but he just peers at me with a sort of melancholy smile. Yeah. He pushes himself to his feet, dusting off the back of his pants. Let me know if you need help with the project or anything. I'll be around. Okay. But hey. His tail perks up some, the wolf turning to look down at me. You should see somebody. I mean, about what you just told me. It never worked for you, Otter. I sigh. Yeah. Yeah. But good for you? Leo shrugs. Maybe. We'll see you later. He gives me his best reassuring smile before heading outward, running his paws along the walls as he leaves. After a while, I stand as well. I notice something odd sitting on top of the water heater. Curiously, I pick it up. Oh, I never knew Mom framed this. This is from high school, I think. Senior year. She always wanted a picture of the two of us. I always thought it was kind of weird how okay my parents were with us being together. I remember after they found out I was gay, I thought that things would be ruined. And I wouldn't be, I don't know, normal. Then they sent me a voicemail saying that they loved me and it really didn't matter. Your happiness is priority number one. I wonder if they forgot this during the move. Though, I guess it's kind of a weird picture. I wouldn't be surprised if they left it on purpose. Oh, I haven't talked to them much lately. I should go. I step outside. The air is still kinda hazy, and the smell of hot dogs is pretty palpable. I look over across the yard. TJ and Jenna are sitting at the table. TJ's munching down on his third helping of cut up hot dogs, while Jenna sits on top with her feet hanging off the side. It's kind of funny how small she is, like she never grew up past age 13. My mind drifts back to the other Phoenix in the smoke room. They all kind of had that youthful appearance to them. I wonder if that's part of the appeal. I'm surprised you were so comfortable walking around in there. I glance over my shoulder, looking back at the weather-worn house. Huh? Why? The spiders. You are still afraid of them, right? I had been trying not to think about that the whole time, actually. It felt like there were lots of them in the house even when I lived in there. And that was with my parents bug bombing the place every month. I resist the urge to reach down and rub my feet, in case there were any walking around in my fur. Not, like, deathly. I cross my arms over my chest, tugging some at the fabric of my shirt. Right, of course. TJ snickers some. Jenna pulls out her phone, beginning to tap away at the digital keypad. By the way, we found something that might help you with your project. Oh? It's in my purse. Could you grab it? Sure. What is it? Jenna doesn't answer, continuing her texting. TJ, meanwhile, seems to be grinning at his empty, ketchup-covered plate. Jenna? I move over to the purse, unbuttoning the main flap. I've always been a bit wary about going through girls' purses for obvious reasons. The first thing I notice, though, is a piece of folded paper with Chase written in all capital letters on the top. It looks like there's something wedged inside of it, as well. Curiously, I pull back the top of the paper and feel something fuzzy against my paw pads. Then a bristling sensation. Then prodding things tickle the tips of my fingers. I squeeze one and yank it up. Dangling before me is an orange and black tarantula, its limbs bouncing from the sudden pull of force. Jesus fuck! I toss it down to the dirt, it seeming to bounce right back and land sideways on my foot. I scramble back, kicking at it with as much force as I can muster. Shit! My chest heaves and I feel like my heart is about to burst from my chest. The tarantula doesn't move, and that's when I realize TJ and Jenna are grinning at me. Jenna has her phone pointed in my direction. Jesus, she's filming this! Language! It's just rubber, Chase. That! I point at the limp, eight-legged thing that's now 3 yards away, stuck in a patch of goathead brambles. That is not funny! It is, actually. Oh, I'm sorry, Chase. It was Jenna's idea. It was 99 cents at that gas station we stopped at back in Two Canyons. Ugh, no wonder you two wouldn't let me see what you bought. Did you guys actually have anything for me? I mean, regarding my project? TJ begins to look even more guilty. Jenna sets her phone down and goes about reclasping her purse. Not really, Chase. As you said, there wasn't much information about the 1877 happening. Most search results directed us toward dubious ghost hunting websites with no source veracity that could be utilized in a formal report. Well, I sigh, stealing my swing tail and feeling calm once again. Was there anything that could be used in a non-formal report? The Finnick cocks her head, her eyes seeming to look right through me as she thinks, before meeting my gaze once again. What do you want to know more about? The UFOs spotted over Echo Canyon by a group of night hikers? The Meseta ghost woman who wanders along the edges of the res, seducing men before impaling them on the branches of mesquite trees? Or perhaps the Mothman, who now apparently has been seen driving a semi-truck down Route 93 at midnight? Maybe he needed a side job? The economy has been tough lately. I let out an exasperated noise. Okay, I get your point. Although, there were lots of mentions of the riots here. That includes the happenings in 1915, as well as some other unsourced stuff about violence after World War II. Just a general perception that we were a bunch of desert malcontents living in some sort of Sodom and Gomorrah style situation for a century. Sounds about right. We even had a famous brothel that served all the miners in the area. A brothel? I look at TJ, who is frowning acknowledgingly. Does he really not know? It's a place where they make broth and other types of soup. I know what a brothel is. Jenna merely smirks and shakes her head. It was called the Smoke Room. Wait, what? I tense up and they seem to notice. Chase? Is something wrong? The Smoke Room. Yeah? That still exists. I was there last night. You went to a brothel last night. Jenna says this less as a question and more of a deadpan matter of fact. What? No. It was this bar that Flynn went to. It's right by the casino. There's no sign for it or anything. And it's like some sort of gay bar? A gay bar? In this county? At least that's what it seemed like it was. I shrugged, trying to phrase this as carefully as I can without going too much into details. Everything smelled like cigarettes, and there was this really shady back room that they called the smoke room. That's... Jenna presses her knuckle to her lower lip, seemingly in thought. She glances up toward me after a moment. Interesting. With that look, I regret bringing it up already. Jenna seems to be maintaining this sort of intrigued expression. I begin bracing for any follow-up questions. What sort of music did they play there? Surprisingly, TJ is the first to speak. I don't see any sign of judgment on his face either. Just genuine curiosity. Oh. It was kind of weird, actually. It was a sort of droning, bassy synth stuff. Really? Yeah, never heard anything like it. Was kind of loud, too. I'm not sure why you're asking. It's TJ's turn to shrug. Just curious. So, you went to a gay bar with Flynn, named after an old famous brothel? I exhale, resting my paws on the edge of the table. It's not like that. Like what? Daxton, Carl, and I followed him after he left us in the middle of hanging out last night. But, he sort of... Well, I think he was trying to invite me to go along with him in his own sort of way. He left his phone behind with just one text message on it with the address. I think he wanted to see if I was interested enough to snoop through his phone instead of outright inviting me. It's hard to explain. Oh, no, I completely understand. That sounds quite like Flynn. Very noncommittal, and giving himself something that he can hold against you, if need be, to protect himself from having any semblance of vulnerability. Jenna rubs the bridge of her small nose, still seemingly frustrated with Flynn's behavior. She reaches down, picking up a plastic plate from beside her and shoving it into a plastic bag. I'm ready to head back to the motel. Chase, are you coming? Oh, sure. TJ begins cleaning up as well, moving to drag the picnic table back into the appropriate yard. I help.